Heyo, Duckies and Dice Fiends! Welcome back. It is Tuesday. That means it's time for the Table Talk Show. I am Kay. I am here as one of your hosts. But I'm not here alone. We thought we were going to have a guest today, but guest had to reschedule, as sometimes happens. No worries. Matt had some great topics that we're going to dive into. Before I let Matt talk, a friendly reminder, Chaotic Wholesome is going to be dark for the next 2 weeks, unless David, for some reason, decides he's going to jump in and stream, which I hope he doesn't. He's taking care of himself. That is number one priority with that. But this will be our last stream for a little bit because I'm going to be out of the country, and we'll miss you all. We'll miss hanging out. We'll still be in Discord, so if you are not in our Discord, you're welcome to come hang out if you need a dose of chaotic wholesomeness. However, I am not here alone. I am here with, hey Rex, welcome on in. I am here with an incredible co-host, Matt. Who the heck is you?
Me.
And what the heck is you doing here?
I have lost all of the words that were in my brain, as is tradition.
Perfect.
I'm Matt. I do things on the internet, mostly respectable things. This is a wholesome channel.
Only mostly.
Yeah, only mostly. Yeah, so I'm Matt. I wear more hats than I should at MimicsNMisfts. We are a tabletop production and video game playing company. Where, you know what? I'm gonna add on to my list since we're talking about this. Today's topic is imposter syndrome, and god damn it, I'm a writer. I have published games. I have 3 games out there. I am working on my own tabletop system. And sometimes you got to give yourselves credit, right?
Absolutely. You, mine is so much smaller than yours, and yours is so much farther along than mine. So, you know, take that to heart. Because apparently a lot of people use me as their standard, which is very strange because I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
I'm not going to lie, though. I have thought about all of our discussions for tabletop games. Like, even when I... the system that I'm using, or system that I'm making, uses the difficulty chart from Powered by the Apocalypse. However, it is a fail forward system, and you do the thing that you want to do. Because that's important. With caveats, you can't, like, you know, turn off the sun, but
yes,
you got options.
I just had this conversation with one of my favorite GMs. We're getting off topic already. I haven't even got out of intros yet, but you know, people know I have some spicy takes on Rules Light, and it is not my saying these things are bad. I'm just saying it's not for me. These are the reasons I don't like it. Took me a lot of time to figure out why I didn't like it. So now that I have broken it down and understood and can say this is why I don't like it, I'm not saying it's bad. These things just don't jive with me. I had a real bad Girl by Moonlight game. It was, there were multiple problems, and one of my GMs loves Blades in the Dark, and she was like, I'm getting Girl by Moonlight, I'm going to read it, and I'm going to see how much, you know, is the system versus this, and, like, she came back, she's like, oh, yeah, I see why you don't like this. I see why you don't like this at all. Ooh. It's like, it's a good hack. It's not just a straight, like, but, like, we were going through various things, and she's like, okay, no, that part was just someone not knowing how to run this game. That part was someone taking a 5e mentality into a Blades in the Dark system, and that doesn't work. As far as Impostor Syndrome goes, I am wildly supportive and more of a cautionary tale than a good example. Aw.
That's also fair.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to take caution.
Yes.
And go along nicely. I think I found my first game that I was unprepared for.
Oh.
So if I tell you that in this game you can play cat folk and jelly people, what kind of game does that bring to mind? Pretty simple.
Like jelly as in like jellyfish, or like what are they called?
Like gelatinous cube people.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's very sword sorcery, high fantasy, you know, modern version.
Yeah. Yeah. So now what if I told you it's fucking Dark Souls and the whole point of the game is that you die and you're broke forever, no matter how many adventures you complete, even at end game of adventure, it says in the book you are in debt to someone and then you die.
Well, that's a yeah. Tone is very important. I played a game of Candace and I played a game of Urban Shadows, whereas a one shot that the GM was hoping would become, a much longer thing, except didn't prepare us. Like, talked a lot about the social strings and all that, which I was super into, but they didn't talk about how the whole point of Urban Shadows is you just spiral into darkness.
Yeah.
So neither of us brought Spiral into Darkness. I had freaking Kinley. I had my happy-go-lucky himbo.
Kinley just says, it'll be fine. It's going to be great.
That doesn't seem like anything we should get involved in. The whole point is you're supposed to get involved. Oh, no, it's very bloody. I'm not into that. No. Lurking Rider says you have 3 wishes. There are 3 things you cannot wish for. More wishes, no time travel, and create a paradox, and to make someone fall in love with you without their consent. I wish for you to give me every atom in the universe an extra proton. There are 4 things you cannot wish for.
That's like, I keep seeing, somebody might have posted it today. I wish that when you push the puzzle pieces together, they moan a little bit.
Yes, I saw that one. Like, nope. Okay, also not that. Yeah, joke's on you, GM. I'm already broken. That's not what I meant by broke.
Yet, I have broken consensually broken players at my table. But if you bring me a backstory that says, GM hurt me, please, I am doing what you asked.
Have any of y'all witnessed Godplane?
Kay walks in and says, yes, I like the ouch. Please give. Great.
My GM for the home game is working a booth at a convention, not in this country. And everyone at the booth is getting like t-shirts with like a name on it, and it doesn't have to be your name, but it's all like jersey things on the back. And I said, I forget we were talking after a session that was like, it's a horror game. So it was very, and I'm like, I am here saying, hurt me, Dungeon Daddy. And he turns to the person running the booth and is like, that's what I want on my t-shirt. Dungeon Daddy. And they're like, no, that's copyrighted. There's a podcast, so you can't do it. I'm like, no, that's Dungeons and Daddies. You're fine. But hi, I am Kay. I am one half of this channel. The other half will hopefully be back next month, maybe June. We'll find out. And as I said before, we are going to be dark for the next 2 weeks. So we are going to be no streams because I am going to be in another country and hopefully getting to meet the Lurking Rider if they still have time for me. Hey, Kreiscon, welcome on in. I hope Mirror's Edge was treating you well. So today.
Oh, that's a good game. Sorry.
As we have
to detract before.
Right, we're already off topic. We literally we are how long? We are 13 minutes into stream and just got through intros. We're streaming like professionals, y'all. You roll a 7.
That's right.
That's rough, buddy. But we want to talk about. Oh goodness. Hey, Faison, welcome on in. So today we are talking about Impostor Syndrome, both as a GM and as a player, and then Matt actually proposed these as 2 different topics, but I feel like they intersect so nicely and half my stories already overlap. So we're also going to talk about like the imposter syndrome and the fear that comes with working or playing with one of your favorite personalities or people in the space. Because so I'm going to kick this off. I had played exactly 4 sessions of Pathfinder. I had played 1 streamed game that was not good. We'll say not good. And then a handful of home game sessions run by David. when I got my first paid D&D streaming gig, and it was with several big names, GM'd by a name we no longer discuss in the space, who was one of the people whose streams I watched to learn how to play D&D, and that person was GMing. So yeah, that was a little bit into the frying pan.
My watch says I'm experiencing stress.
Yes. So there was a lot of like, how do I hope I'm not weird. Session 0 was great. Everyone was very on board. Everyone was very supportive. Get into the game. It was good. It was good. It was fine. Remained in contact with this person and like kept going. Like other friends of mine were like, "Oh, you two were friends," and I'm like, "I'm not sure we're friends." So like, no, you two were friends. You're friends. It's good. And I'm like, it feels a little too. I don't know. This was less imposter syndrome and more what's the
Parasocial.
Thank you. I'm like, I don't want to even risk going into parasocial, right? Like,
yep.
So that whole thing can be very strange all around.
Yeah. And it builds up so fast too. Like, so I have actually done a whole stream story about this. So for folks who don't know, watching Super Dylan and experiencing some of the games that he wrote was like my introduction into streamed tabletop games. I've been a giant nerd my whole life. I've played D&D since I was like 8. And it's fun. I never thought about taking it online. And then I got to actually talk to Dylan because I was doing I was going through their Neverland adventure. And when Tailspire had first come out, and I was like, holy smokes, all the maps in this are so cool. And I started rebuilding the swamp from the Neverland adventure in Tailspire. And was like, oh, we're having a conversation. And still, every time to this day, I have interacted with Dylan. I again, same, not approaching parasocial. I wouldn't say that we're friends, but we've interacted enough to know that like we've talked. Mm-hmm. It's still nerve wracking to be like, I want to ask this person to come play a game. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about it since we started talking about the topic more. And I don't know the right way to phrase this. So what I do for a living is code. I'm very good at my job. There are very few things in life that I will say, I am very good at this. And that is the end of the discussion. Like, I know I'm good at it. It's basic logic. And the reason I can say that with my job and not with tabletop gaming is I have had to argue that I'm good at my job. I have never once had to argue that I'm good at tabletop gaming or games production or whatever wizardry is happening on the internet. So imposter syndrome, from the standpoint of people I look up to, is odd. Mm-hmm. And like, if I had a game with you and like checked out your stuff without meeting you, it would be in the same boat. Mm-hmm. And even knowing that, like, you and Candace and Robin and Dylan and, like, people that are coming to my house to hang out is like, oh my God, I did a thing with this person. Mm-hmm. And it still doesn't. I lost half of my thought in there. I got excited. But yeah, like if we hadn't met at PAX and my first introduction to talking to you was playing at a table together, that would definitely be like a holy shit, look at all the things that Kay does. Except we met throwing fucking goodie bags with the fidget squishies on it. And that's a very different introduction.
Yeah. Like the number of tables that I have sat down at, or sessions I've gone to, and people are like, okay, so you're like, just so you know, you're like the most experienced person here, right? You're the only person who has like a reel or like has, and I'm like, that doesn't, most of y'all have been playing for a decade or more. I started playing shortly before the pandemic. Like, no. And they're like, well, but you've got all this experience. I'm like, I have all that experience because of my job, right? I know how to work OBS because of my job. I know how to do this stuff because I do similar things professionally, and I'm just able to take those skills and go, whoop. So yeah, imposter syndrome. And again, it's especially, I've been on both sides of parasocial. So for those of you who don't know, and apparently I don't, and yes, as Rex says, the whole, are we professional friends / did this gig, or are we friends, right?
Yeah.
Like even, and especially like, this is a thing I've been grappling with for ages because I've worked with some celebrities, some of them fairly closely, right? There are well-known voice actors that I have worked with that I can't say that I've worked with because the stuff I've worked with them on isn't out yet and I'm under NDA, right? Like there's stuff like that there are people who know me and who recognize me. And at parties, I cannot tell people why I know them. Like, oh, we worked on a project. Are we professional friends? Are we friends? We are professional friends in that we know each other. We're on good terms. And if I ask them to show up to a charity game, I am confident they will not be rude.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a lot of kind of like what Lurking Writer says. Like, is this making friends as an adult? A little bit. But yeah. And there's always that thin line between being parasocial and complimenting, or, reaching out to invite someone to do a thing. So one of my my first experience was PAX 2023. Maisie Lynn. I had seen all of her Midwestern BBEG content, and one of our moderators in our Discord was super interested, and I was like, just walk up, be nice, and just be like, hey, I really love the stuff that you do. Like, sometimes it's a great way to pick up my day, and leave. Like, one, people really appreciate knowing that your work has some impact. And you don't have to get into like a full-blown conversation. Like, it really can just be, hey, this is great. Thank you so much. I hope you have a good day. I hope you're enjoying the con.
And I will tell you the number of times I have been like, this happened with Cake Teas and I were at the Cirque bar after PAX, and freaking Iffy's there. And we're like, okay, he's talking to someone, we're not going to bother him, right? And then like the conversation died and we just kind of go over and we're like, hey, we're fans, right? You do great stuff. And like I made a joke about watermelons because if you know Iffy, he crushes watermelons with his thighs. It's very lovely and impressive. And I'm like, keep it up. And he's like, oh yeah, great. So like you do tabletop. And we're like, yeah. And Jess, being the hype tiger, starts talking up Chaotic Wholesome. And he's like, he ended up showing us photos on his phone of him in Very Important People before it came out. Like, Very Important People wasn't announced yet. And he was like, oh, this, you can't, but look here. And like, we just got to hang out for a little bit, right? And now here's the thing. The conversation ended and we went, cool, and went away. We didn't go, So where are you partying? Where are we going next?
Yeah, and that's it.
The number of people, especially in this space, where I've just gone up to someone and been like, hey, love what you do. And they're like, cool, and start talking to you and are happy to hang out and chat. Maybe not for the entire evening, but will actually be like, cool, who are you? What do you do?
Yep.
It is amazing. And again, like my first PAX, I realized Mark Meer was recording a thing at a booth towards the back. And I'm like, not going to bother him, but like, we're like kind of, because I'm a big Mark Meer fan.
But was it his favorite booth on the Citadel?
I'm not sure.
Is that the incorrect person? Am I going to be a goober right now?
No, I mean, I really enjoy, I don't know Mark Meer's entire body of work, so.
It's Mass Effect, Commander Shepard.
Oh. Yeah, I know Mark Meer from the tabletop side. I have actually never played Mass Effect. I know he played Shep.
That's fair.
But I've never actually played it. So he was like clearly on a break and was walking, and like I saw him walk away, and then I saw him walking back toward the booth, and I just kind of go up and I'm like, hey, I just wanted to say, like, I'm a big fan of what you do. I love Black Dice Society. Like, I love, because Brother Jediah was my favorite. I'm like, thank you. Yeah, Rex and Lurking Rider have your back.
Nice. Thank you, guys.
I'm like, I love what you do. Thank you. Just wanted to say I'm a fan. And he's like, oh, thank you. Can I take a selfie with you? And I was like, you charismatic mother lover. That is the best. I am stealing. Like, I have done that a couple times. I've had someone, we were at the Cirque Bar again last year, and someone comes up to me, he's like, excuse me, are you Kay? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I don't recall what he said he remembered me from, right? But he like calls over his friend, and they're like, it's Kay. And I'm like, can I take a picture with you? And they're like, oh, you want a picture with me? I'm like, this is the best. It validates a fan thing, but also doesn't make it like, ooh, it was so good. Brother Uriah was just, I love Brother Uriah so much. And I've always, as most of you know, I've always wanted to play a coward in a horror game. And it's never quite worked out because there's never been like the correct party composition where I get to play the actual coward. But like getting to see it done, I'm like, oh, it's so good. But yeah, it is an interesting line to walk, especially when it's something like, oh, I have consumed your entire streamed body of work. Or it's something like, when it's a streamer who talks a lot about, who is open with their personal life, or at least parts of their personal life. Or you watch, especially pre-recorded content, if it's someone who makes YouTube videos, and they've just addressed a thing and they talked about something from their personal life in a video, but that was recorded 6 months ago and you only just saw it. So if you try and bring it up now, it's like,
yeah. Yeah, and I think
Heckler after the show too, technically. Yes.
Yeah, so even like I'll say it, even just sitting right here and talking about like our experience with Mark Meer is clearly very different.
Oh.
Not on a personal level.
No.
But like everything that I know Mark Meer from is video games.
Mm-hmm.
So to have that moment of one, like, oh shit, am I wrong right now on the internet on Kay's channel? But also to miss that other piece, especially tabletop related, is that moment of like, well, fuck, like that sounds like such a big thing. And that's not what did I say earlier? It's not a fault of anybody in the conversation, but it's that moment of like, damn, maybe I'm not where I thought I was in the mix.
Here's the thing. Tabletop is very small, but it's also very disparate. There's all sorts of little circles. And like the number, like Candace has been like, oh yeah, so-and-so. And I'm like, yeah, so, and they're like, no. That person, you played with them on, okay, no, they were on, okay, no, have you really never met this person? I'm like, no, no, I haven't. So that's like, that is a thing, it is a small community. It is small enough where if you misbehave, it's gonna be
Yep.
known. But also, there are some incredible performers who I have like been thrown into a game with, found out they know like 6 other people that I love to play with, and somehow I'd never heard of them until we were in this session 0
until you're
for
right
this
in
game.
the mix of it.
Right? Like that's just how it is. And I feel like tabletop is off. Like I had wanted to play D&D tabletop for a very long time. And I mentioned this to David, and David's like, oh, cops are coming. David's like, oh, I know tabletop nerds. Yeah, sit tight. We'll put together a campaign. No problem. And then like, it would be like, I tell someone, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, my friend's running a D&D game. I get to play D&D for the first time. They're like, oh, I love D&D. I've been playing. I'm like, mother lover, where has this been? I've known you for years. How come you never told me?
Yeah, I mean, I have friends that I've known for 10 or 15 years that I just found out play Magic. Like, I've known you for so long. Where did you hide your Magic cards?
Yes.
I've been to your house.
Yeah, the TTRPG space is relatively small, but it's a village / town's worth with all the suburbs and satellite villages. Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
as everyone here knows, I'm really a big fan of D20 and more crunchy systems. So there are some incredible people who basically only do rules light that I'm like, I know who you are. We're probably never going to play together because we just, like, maybe in a charity game one shot where I hop into a rules light game for charity, but like, by and large, we're never going to play a campaign together because we just don't play the same systems at all.
Right. Yeah, and honestly, I think that's just the kind of the meat and potatoes of walking around events and seeing people, or even reaching out for charity events and being like, you know, am I a large enough personality? Am I experienced enough to talk to this person? And a lot of the imposter syndrome relates back to, you know, can I adequately talk about what our topic is? So even today, like my work example, I can tell you up, down, left, and right all the code for my job. I wrote Duality, and I have a very hard time explaining the rules to people because I know it. It's there. And
It's also
whatever
your
that
baby.
it
It's
is.
like
I love it so
writing
much.
your own like bio. It's like writing your own cover letter is so hard.
Yeah.
Summarizing this is why like people can never summarize their TTRPG campaign because they're too close to it.
Can we also just get rid of cover letters, please?
Please.
They're fucking terrible.
I hate them. But and I'm also going to say this because apparently this surprises people because apparently I have 2 things. I have tall person energy and I just exude confidence. I live in imposter syndrome. I can think of very few things, including my day job, which I have empirical evidence that I am very good at. I'm constantly just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I have done this exact thing, it has been the correct thing and it has gone, well, what if it's not true this time?
Or like, what if, all right, not to add to your fears, but it's consistently been the like, you know, what if I did all this shit and somebody's just covering up the pieces for me? Like, what if they're just not letting me see that I'm failing?
So
Kay is 7 foot tall and no one, including Kay themselves, can convince me otherwise.
Yes, I tower over Rex every time I see him. Rex is a very tall individual, y'all. So this is a story that I've told a couple times, but like I need everyone to understand. There was a post that was going around earlier this week that was like, if you played a game or if you even just watched a stream and you really enjoyed it, you had a good time, tell the DM.
Yeah.
Tell the GM, because it doesn't matter how good, badass, awesome you think they are. They have imposter syndrome. They will have, if they don't have imposter syndrome, they will be nervous that they didn't do. The first time I ran Godplane, we got through the first episode, which is very much an introduction. Here's the plot, here's the thing, here's the players. Here's your mission, whether you believe it or not. Here's the NPC who's going to give you the what you need to know to get where you need to go. And cool, we're out, and then we'll start more character exploration next session. First time I ran Godplane, we finished the first session, hit, end, did the raid over to someone else, and I'm like, okay, y'all, we did it. And immediately the first words out of a player's mouth after we finished the session was, so how do you want us to play this game? Are we just supposed to follow your NPC around?
What?
And when I tell you all, that haunts me to this day. Every time I run Godplane, I have to be like, okay, so like the first session might feel a little railroady. I promise you, like anytime I'm like, is my NPC taking up too much space? And then I come up with like Mo or Breadstick, and everyone's like, give me more NPC. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. No. So, imposter syndrome is so freaking real.
Yeah. And like part of it is, so we do daily challenges with some of my friends, and today's was say something nice about yourself. Do it right now. Say one thing positive about you. And in the midst of this, mine is, I'm a good writer. And I have a lot of evidence to the contrary. I failed English in school. But I'm doing it. And that's half the battle. The other half is red laser, blue laser.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the green room before. There's a post going around that's like, every single person has a book inside of them. Just most people are not willing to sit down and cut themselves open and lop off parts of themselves to bring that book out. That's what writing is.
Yeah, no, and Rex, that's exactly it. Like, as soon as you have two people talking, it's two people that you're in control of, like, how fast can I end this conversation with myself to get it back to the player?
Yeah. Rex said, for those who will be reading later, watching later, I panic when I have two or more NPCs talk to each other in my home game, as I worry I'm stealing the spotlight. My players love it, but I worry every darned time. And yeah, that's the idea that my NPCs will be too OP, will be too cool, will be too spotlight hog, will haunt me for the rest of my GMing life. There's other stuff I could worry about too, but that was like, that's a defining moment. If we're participating, goes to, have I made people laugh and smile today? Yes. Oh, yes. I have made, that's Lurking Writer's good thing about himself. Yes.
That is a good thing.
It is.
So on the note of good things, Kay, what is a tool that you use to help combat your imposter syndrome?
So, this is a very, I spend a lot of time in my head. I am a Gemini. There is a literal voice in my head at all times. There is never peace. There is never silence.
Yep.
And a lot of what I do in my day job is soft skills, and we know how much the world understands and values soft skills. especially in gaming and tech.
Yeah.
So the first thing that happens whenever I get on a call with anyone is they lose their mind about my background. And actually, very few things in this background I have bought for myself. Most of these things have either been given to me or they are something that I participated in. So I have, like, whenever I move, I have a lot of boxes. People are like, you have a lot of stuff. And I'm like, I kind of need it for my sanity. Because I can then point and be like, I was involved in that. I did that. And it's not just my, like, yes, I know I've done it. I know I can go to a website and point. But, like, if I have a physical reminder, if I can hold the thing, I'm like, I did this. No one can take that away from me, and very few people can actually say that.
Yeah. That's a great thing, honestly.
And it's here, it's visual, it's great. Like, I've spoken multiple times at San Diego Comic-Con. That's a real, like, it's cool. It identifies me. Hey, Ribbonanza. But also, like, I've done that. No one can deny it. It's there.
Yeah. That's fair. I have my PAX badge behind. Oh, you can't see it because I'm in the mountains with these lovely trees.
Yes.
But yeah, like, I have my PAX badge behind me. Oh, is there actually a building in there?
Yeah, there's a little cabin.
Huh.
Got little lights, a little smoke.
Do I not know what my own background is?
Behind your right arm.
Oh. I don't know. I'll have to look after. I tried double clicking on my picture and it made the whole thing full screen. And,
oh, no.
Oh,
Problem.
we're good though. Pixel chat is still going. Okay. Yeah, honestly, physical reminders. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to read off real quick. Lurking Writer says, counterpoint to that, if your players are looking at you intently while you're conversing as NPCs, chances are that means they're invested in your part of the story that's being told. Then it is your time to shine. Your part of the tale. Give yourself permission to be a player of the game in that moment. Yes, that is great. It's on the internet. It's forever. Yes. But yes, physical reminders.
Yeah, so physical reminders, I think we've talked about it. So in my home game, even, I have, for folks who don't know, I have ADHD, and it's a ride in the struggle bus some days. So I have on a table just over there where I play my home game, there is a 3D printed Viking axe for my character Ori. And when I am holding the axe, I'm Ori. That's it. I'm in character. It's the time to do the thing. When I'm sitting here now, I'm holding my little triangle, which I won't let go because it's loud against the mic. So do I not know what my own background is? We've now come to the Colin mockery in front of a green screen. Yes, that's exactly what it is. I have NVIDIA broadcast and I forget whatever the thing is, because behind me is just a series of tubes. One really big tube so that I can have cold air in my room. Nice. But yeah, so physical reminders that you can pick up and hold and point to are huge, because you have empirical evidence. Be like, yeah, not only did I do the thing, somebody praised me for doing the thing, or like San Diego Comic-Con, somebody brought me in to do the thing.
Yeah. The other topic we were going to do was like getting into characters, and I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of things in this background have to do with characters. And like when I played Soul in Emergency Power Podcast, I have it's the most white girl white thing ever. Like I have the little crescent moon because Soul had the tattoo, and I'm like, cool, this means I'm Soul, right? When it's time to be Kenley, I have the pipes because then it's time to be Kenley. And sometimes when, Kay is very, very nervous and Kay is not sure, they are capable of doing the thing, I'm like, hey, David, how would I do this in OBS? And David's like, I don't know. You do OBS. And I'm like, cool, thank you for that reminder.
Yeah, no, and that's fair too. Like you have friends and colleagues to help keep you in check, to be like, what do you mean? Like this is this is your skill set. Why are you doubting yourself?
And
so even like, go ahead.
No, finish.
Even like the past week of writing, of being like, damn, I can't get one sentence out. Like, what kind of, I'm sure you know exactly how hard people like us are on ourselves to be like, well, you know, what kind of terrible what kind of terrible writer are you? Like, you can't get one sentence out. What are you doing? And then you finally have that breakthrough moment, and it's wonderful.
This is a slight aside, but I binge a lot of long form documentary content, and I've got a couple months of YouTube Premium free. So I've been chewing through the backlog catalogs of multiple long form documentary content creators, and I recently found, and I broke my brain because I found this one called is it Folding Space or Folding Ideas? I think it's Folding Ideas. Canadian guy, very well researched. One of his documentaries on flat Earth was recommended, and it's like dealing with flat earthers, right? It's not like he's like, I'm not even trying to debunk it. Like, he does a bunch of experiments to debunk it, but he's like, but this isn't enough, and let me explain to you why it's not enough, and let me explain to you why all of this fits. Yes, Folding Ideas. I love him. Broke my brain because I watched the flat Earth documentary, and then I'm like, what else you got? And the next one he did was the museum in Texas with the dinosaur and human footprints in the same thing, and that whole museum, which I was taken to as a child. Like, I have stood in that space, and it's just like, here's a beardy Canadian dude who's just absolutely destroying all of the religious trauma that was inflicted upon me, right? Like, it was just, but he does a whole one on the Mickelson twins and the whole like Audible pyramid thing that they have going on, and like they have a program to churn out 1 billion audiobooks, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it their way, but then I'm also gonna write a book. Like, I need 25,000 words. I've got 25 days, so that's about 1,000 words a day. I wrote a book. Now, for those of you who don't know, David is a writer and a ghostwriter and has written a ton of things that you will never know that he did because he's a below the line writer. And nothing annoys him more than people who are like, writing books is easy. Like, I am going to tie him down one day and make him sit through the first couple episodes of BoJack Horseman, because he can't watch BoJack Horseman because he's like, oh, writing a book that, right? Like, that's one of his triggers. I sent him this. I'm like, David, I need you to watch this, because he's like, so I wrote a book. And then from about the halfway point of the video from then on, it's the video diaries of him after each day of writing. And you just watch the despair. And you just watch him deteriorate and hate himself. And you watch I'm just like, this is so real. This is so real.
Yeah, that hurts a little.
I'm like, please watch this, David. And he's like, I'm 3 minutes in. I can't finish it, but I'm watching it. Trust me.
Oh, God.
Writing is so hard. Yeah, it is hard. And here's part of the thing. And this is also this ties in with imposter syndrome. This ties in with performance anxiety, right? This ties in with all of the shit that we deal with in the TTRPG space, because the idea, the book in your head is perfect. The plot for your campaign is perfect.
Yeah.
But once it's written down, it's not perfect. And why is it not perfect? What's that problem? Is it me? Is it the story itself? Is it my grammar? Why isn't it perfect? Why can't I just go? And that causes a panic and a doom spiral.
Okay. First off, how dare? Second, the best thing I have ever heard for that is it's very rare for an artist to like the art that they make, because once it's out in the world, they can't stop seeing it as a thing they made rather than a piece of art.
Yes. And like, An idea is perfect in your head. Look, ask any artist. Ask any artist if they forgot to flip their canvas. Because this is the thing. You're drawing a thing and you see it the way you think you see it, right? You see it the way you want it to be. And then when you flip the canvas, you see what's actually there, not what you think is there. And it's what you have to do to fix your anatomy, to make sure everything looks good. But it's terrible.
Yep.
This is why
100%.
This is why I'm like, and y'all, I, like everyone else, hate my voice. I hate my voice more than I think most people. This is why I'm like, go if you really want to go to TTRPGs, if you really go back and watch your performances. Go back and watch them. Go back and watch what you did as a player. Go back and watch what you did as a GM. It's terrible. It's uncomfortable. But oh my goodness, the amount of things I have learned about myself. It's like, oh, I did that thing and I understood why I got to that decision, but I didn't give enough clues to everyone else as to why I got to that decision. That's why everyone seemed so surprised, right? I never took the 2 seconds to go like, Soul thinks blah, so therefore they're blah. Or like do the thing that gets a big reaction and be like, the reason I'm doing this, like you have to give that little moment sometimes of explanation because the character.
You're just out here with the 1-2 punches today, aren't you?
I mean, if it helps, I'm also punching myself.
I know.
Because that was one of the first things I learned was going back and watching and being like, I understand my logic in the moment. It's perfectly clear to me in the moment. But outside of that moment, why did I do that? I wouldn't know if I were not living in my head.
Yeah. And it's a hard thing to do, especially when you're trying to connect with an audience.
Yeah.
Not even just like a home game, you have that little break. Kind of like we talked about last time. If you're a home game, pre-recorded game, you have that break to go, oh my God, wait, this is actually why I wanted to do that thing.
Yeah.
But in a live game,
I do love games that have talkbacks. So after,
yep.
Someone could be like, what was, at one point in season 3 of Emergency Power, like we found out like it was a multiverse thing and Soul is deeply involved with the universe. And they're like, oh, she has a sister and she didn't tell me. And everyone's like, who's the sister? Like, universe. I didn't make that clear, apparently. I thought it was very clear that I'm deeply involved. I'm a Solarian. I get my powers from the universe. I'm deeply involved with the universe. Oh, she has a sister and she didn't tell me. How rude.
That's, yeah. And yeah, Rex, sorry. So Rex says, watching your RP performances is like reading your writing out loud.
Oh, yeah.
When you're a writer.
Oh, yeah.
It's as rough as 20 grit sandpaper. It's 20 grit sandpaper, but makes you better.
And this is the trick that David taught me. If you're a writer and you want to be better at dialogue, you got to hand your paper to someone else and let have 2 other people read out the conversation. Because what sounds like a real conversation in your head and what it sounds like when people read it out, you're going to be writing that entire. Lurking Writer says, trivia, Terry Pratchett was told by his publishers to take 6 months off 1 year and relax and unwind from the stress of writing a novel a year. 6 months later, he met up with said publisher and handed them 2 books. That's also kind of what Sanderson did during the pandemic. He just went, oh, well, I've got time to kill. I'm restless. My wife really likes these kinds of stories. I haven't written those kinds of stories. I'm going to write 4 books. Sorry, I just forgot how to breathe.
Well, breathing is hard. You gotta think about it. You gotta move your lungs. You gotta keep all saliva and liquid out of the way. Like, there's a lot of steps that we don't really consider.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love to write. I am not good at seeing a thing through. I'm also the person where, like, David tried to inspire me at one point, was like, okay, you want to do that? Yeah. Have 3,000 words for me by this time. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, that's my immediate, I was in academia for too long. It's like, you give me an arbitrary deadline and I think, fuck you. No.
You're not in charge of me. Only I'm in charge of me.
If I did just sit down and write 1,000 words a day, that'd be a good thing. But if you tell me to do it, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Was it the oppositional defiance? I was going to do the dishes, but now you asked me to do them. So how about you go fuck yourself?
Yeah. Like, and if it had been like, hey, do you think, maybe you should try writing 1,000 words a day? I'll think about it. But the minute you tell me, it's like, I'm also the person, peer pressure doesn't work on me unless I kind of already want to do it. If I'm like, I don't want to do that thing, and someone's like, oh, you should, no, fuck off. No. Like, nothing makes me more angry than multiple people going, no, do the thing you don't want to do. No, go away. And it shocks people because apparently most people don't react like that to peer pressure.
That's why they give you talks about it in schools. Peer pressure is bad. If your friend jumps off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge too? There's a whole life lesson about it.
Yeah, and I took it way too to heart.
That's fair, honestly. And yeah, I don't know. There's so many pieces that tie into a little bit of everything. Whether it's letting somebody else look at your work, bringing in, an outside person for a conversation. Yes, correct. Anger and spite can be great motivators.
Lurking riders taking swings at me.
I'll take some of that because there are so many things in my life that I have accomplished because of spite. Because fuck you, you can't tell me I can't do that.
At least a good 80% of my career has been because someone's like, oh, that's not, girls can't do that. Or like, oh, yeah, there's really no like women reporters, or like, oh, that's a boys club. You can't really get in and do that. And I'm like, what? I had someone, I was like, hey, you should apply for this job. Like, you're complaining that there's never jobs in your area. Here's a job in your area. You should apply for it. No, I don't think I want to apply for it. Well, fuck you. I'll apply for it. Now I live in New York. Like, spite isn't excellent. Like, Obi-Wan, not Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn. And let's be honest, I'm sorry, y'all, I will die on this hill. The prequel trilogies would have been so much more interesting if they just let Qui-Gon Jinn be a Sith. Qui-Gon Jinn had been a Sith, the entire thing would have been so much better. And then phrases like greed can be a powerful ally would make so much more sense.
I'm lost. I'm gonna apologize. I have zero Star Wars knowledge.
It's fine. That's fine.
I watched the original trilogy once. Shockingly, despite all of the Starfinder I love, space is just not my jam. Like, I don't know what it is.
It took me a very long time to find sci-fi that I liked. Now, I will also say, Star Wars is not sci-fi. It's a space western, where it's science fantasy. It's not sci-fi.
Yeah, and maybe
okay,
that's
Matt.
like
We'll forgive you eventually.
Maybe that's what it is. Because Firefly, I'm all over it. I fucking love Firefly. I wish they made more.
I couldn't do Firefly, but that's because of religious trauma reasons, and book needs do not exist.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I am not here to be lectured about Christianity. Go away.
Oh, remind me after. I have a funny not on air thing to tell you about religion.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so even trying to get back on top. Let's go back to Impostor Syndrome.
Impostor Syndrome.
So tools to manage it, friends to help, and even if it's things like you have your full rubber bot, like we talked about, it pops up a message saying, hey, it's almost been an hour, and ads might run. Now, obviously, it's like we were talking about, a shorter stream. I'm going to knock over these. Not going to do that. But helping yourself with as many tools as possible whether that's a friend to politely check in and not be like, hey, write 1,000 words, or entrusting it to someone else. Like I even in your Discord, like I've gone in and said, hey, this is a mechanic I'm working on. I don't think it sounds right. And people are like, yeah, that kind of sucks. And you're like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, you're right. It kind of sucks. What can we do better? Like, what's more fun?
Yeah. Also, there's some. So one of the things I always suggest to creative types, and it doesn't matter if you are TTRPG, a writer, any kind of, I hate the term content creator, right? Any kind of artist, anyone who creates, anyone like that, take screenshots when people say nice things, be it in chat, be it in Discord, and just start a folder on your computer, on your Google Drive, on somewhere, and just start dropping those screenshots in. Because there will come a day when you have a crisis. And why am I even doing this? What is even the point? All of this is useless and ridiculous and foolish, and I'm wasting my time, and none of it has mattered. And just being able to go through those comments and just be like, okay. I had a friend who became completely obsessed with God Plane. And this is someone whom I love, who works in the who writes books in the TTRPG space and has for a decade plus, and is creative and incredible performer, and was just like, I am sorry that I am so obsessed with this right now, but nothing has grabbed me in this way. And I'm like,
yep.
And I was like, screenshot in a folder. And this is why we say, like, if your GM does something really cool, if you really enjoyed a session, if you really enjoyed a mechanic, if you really did a thing, tell them. In the home game, there's these other worlds, and we got sucked into this other world, and everyone was kind of at like this. Our bodies weren't there. We were these manifestations of kind of what we are at our core. And you couldn't see yourself, you could only see everyone else. So like the GM's like describing, we kind of knew who was going to go on this quest the day before. And then my character who declined got sucked in through a nat 20, which in this system is a failure, is a nat 1. And so I got sucked in last minute, and he was like, okay, you're like that. And he goes into this thing of this really conflicted character whom I play, who's like, he was like, the words are engraved in my brain forever. It's like strength lost in minutia. This barbed, hooked creature curled up, trying to make themselves small while being pulled in every different direction. And I was like, oh. And afterwards, like the next day I message him and I'm like, hey, I just want you to know, like, that was great. And he's like, oh, was it? Like, did you, like, because I had to pull that out of my ass in that moment. I had no prep because you weren't supposed to be there, right? Like, you had declined to go on this. And I'm like, no, dude, you nailed it in one. He's like, okay, thanks. Like, you could just feel like
yeah, holy shit. What a fucking thing to, sorry. What a thing to just pull out. Like,
oh, he is one of the best GMs I've ever played with. Like, it is. It's really good just to tell, because even knowing that, sometimes he's like, let's see. Unfortunately, since I write about games on the internet, I mostly get mean comments. This is, I'm so sorry, Ribbonanza. That's, yeah, that gamers are toxic, and I'd love for that to not be the case. Lurking Writer says, yes, I know a streamer writer who says they take screenshots of all the things people have said in chat to them. I just cheered them up and motivated them to keep doing the thing that they love because of that.
yep.
Yes. And I had, I want to be careful. I say this because it's a complicated situation right now, but like, I knew two incredible performers who were very close friends and like, were just great performers. I got to run games for them, like loved them as people, love them as performers, love them as friends. And then years after we'd known each other, apparently they didn't know that I didn't know. They met each other because one of them watched myself and the other person in a game together and went, oh, Kay, that weird, quirky, cool, queer person seems really cool. And then ended up in the orbit of this other person. And like that whole thing started because of me. And I had no idea.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah, and that's like Candace has talked about that. One of the opportunities that they got to do with Robin and Dylan, they came back and they're like, "Oh my god, like the game that you ran was so fun, and I can't believe you introduced me to these people, and this is how it's changing my life."
Yeah.
And then to go back, like I met Candace because we talked. Like there's been so many little things that you don't necessarily know the string of connection. And knowing that you helped make someone's day better, whether that's a fun game, an opportunity, or anything, is a huge pick-me-up.
Yeah.
And I just want to step back once.
Yes, please.
For, like you had mentioned for your GM, the reason that compliments and everything can go so far is no matter how good the person is at the table that you're at, reading the book that they wrote, looking at the art that they made, the saddest Doctor Who episode ever is understanding that someone has an appreciation for the thing that you've done is always going to be so much more than however good you think it is in your head.
Yeah. Lurking Rider says, Everett, I've encountered this little corner of the internet has been cool. And that includes you, the person reading this comment.
Yeah, Kay.
Fuck off, all of you. Yeah, like, I can do a thing. I can play a game. I can be like, that was a cool story, right? And then if someone reaches out and is like, oh my goodness, that was the first time. I've had someone be like, that was the first time I saw an Ace character, like, displayed in a way that related to me. Kid loved and cherished, loser. Yes, one of my favorites.
Right.
Because we're, yes, we're all here to tell stories. We're all here to have fun. But we're also here to, like, do meaningful things and tell stories that matter, right? Like, yeah, there's always the space for the completely ridiculous one-shot, slapstick, whatever. But even a lot of the times, the most funny moments come out of a moment of sincerity, a moment of being vulnerable. And if something you have done touches someone, especially if, you're like most of us hanging out where you do not fit the mold, the norm, what is expected in one way or another, then knowing that that impacted someone else and that they saw what you saw, they feel what you feel, they've been in that struggle and you helped them see they're not alone in that struggle, it means so much. Like, so much. Yes, get in, loser. We're complimenting and uplifting each other today. Because yeah, again, I have had the pleasure to play with some of the best GMs in the space. I have played with GMs and with performers who are truly incredible, and most people would, give anything to play with. I have been incredibly fortunate in that regard. And the two best GMs that I have ever played with are not terribly well known. And I make it a point to tell them that, because holy cats, are they incredible GMs, incredible storytellers, keep things on the rails while also giving freedom, reward big swing, like, and then narrative and descriptive on top of it. Because it's really easy to be good at a couple of those pieces, but these are people who are good at all of them. And I have had the great pleasure of playing with some bigger names where I have finished the game and been like, cool. I didn't really enjoy playing with that person.
Yeah.
And it's extra sad when you're like, that was fine. But they clearly thought that it was more than fine.
Okay,
They
there's
clearly
several
thought-
jokes to make there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, all I can think of is like going to a diner and you get okay food. Like it's food. I'm full now. Probably wouldn't do this again.
Yeah. Like, cool. I'm so glad I got to do that. Like, I'm full. I had the experience. That's cool. This is a great thing for, convincing people that maybe I am worth having in their game because I've stood shoulder to shoulder with these people. But like, yeah, they clearly thought they brought more to the performance than I felt like they brought to the performance. Be that it's not always skill, right? Sometimes they're a great performer, but they recognize they're the biggest name at the table, so they're going to take up all the space. Maybe it's, maybe they were just having a bad day, right? Like, even the best performers, I will never, like, if for some reason I ever got to play a game with Brennan Lee Mulligan, and we finished the thing, and he's like, sorry, y'all, I only brought like 70%. I'm like, you're Brennan Lee Mulligan, 70%'s all you needed.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's some people where it's like your 50% is better than my 100.
I don't know if I would agree with that, but I've seen you go all in on characters, like getting to I know that one game is not necessarily a happy memory, but getting to see Kai across a few iterations and changing systems was really, really great. Like, I know we've talked a little bit about how we get into character and what it's like once that character just lives there. That's it. They're hanging out for good now.
Yeah. I know, and that. Well, first off, thank you, and again, thank you for letting me play Kai in another system, in another game, because I really missed them. And then for keeping them alive in other games. And that right there is a huge that right there, what Matt just did, is a huge freaking compliment and means so much. And I played Kinley in a home game, and that home game is no longer running. Spoiler alert, I'm potentially bringing Kinley back in another thing, and I need a whole backstory for them. And I got to go to my home game and be like, would you all be okay if I have Kinley mention your characters? Like, it won't be one for one exactly what happened in this campaign, but like, I would like to. And everyone was like, oh my goodness, I feel like so included. And I feel so, like, everyone felt so honored that I wanted to. And like, they could have gone like, write your own freaking backstory. Right? So yeah, I think all of that's really important when it comes to remembering other people. Like, part of the reason I think a lot of us live in imposter syndrome is we are concerned about others. And when you are less concerned about others, when you are that level of narcissistic, which, look, we're all a level of narcissistic, right? Every single one of us who does this on the internet has a certain amount of narcissism that we watched someone else play or run a game and went, I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Every single one of us has at least a little bit of that. And that's, we all need, but there are people who are like, cool, I did it, job done. But then there's some of us who go like, okay, I did that. I should go back and watch the VOD to see what I could have done better. And that is A, honing your craft, yes, but B, also going, maybe I could do better, which is a level of self-awareness that not everyone has.
Yeah. Yeah. Even looking back on the day and be like, damn, maybe I only gave 50%. Like, what changed? What, something off at the table? Was I having a bad day? Was I uncomfortable? Did the wind blow wrong and the cops went flying by? Like, there's a million and one things that can go into it too, which is also a good reminder that don't let one thing shape your opinion of yourself in anything that you do. With the caveat, I feel like this is like the harassment training at work.
Right.
The worse the thing you do is, the more it should be, that's a bad thing. Don't do that. But like, if you forget to pass the ball one time to another player, like, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Lurking Rider says, I could do that. That's the mini narcissist in most people. The thing that separates said people from actual narcissists is they pat it on the head and say, sure you could, kiddo. Yeah. That first big game that I was in with some incredible people, like it was Critical Bard and Carlos, who writes for D&D, who was actually like, and then the GM, who we don't speak of anymore. Like, I remember we got to the very end of the thing, and it was like, okay, everyone give me a some save, and I roll my save. And I had the highest save of everyone. And the GM's like, okay, you get to and you. And I'm like, even with that? And got the, like, the shut up and let me finish. The stern parent GM look. When I tell y'all, I obsessed over that look for a month and a half. I would wake up in the middle of the night with that look burned into my brain going like, I really fucked up. That was so bad. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Ooh, why didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, all right, well, like, I'll do it right now. We finished that Starfinder campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, shit, I want to do more things and hang out with Kay. And then I think it was like 6 months later and you weren't available. And I was like, that's it. I ruined it. I burned it all to the ground with the Starfinder game.
No.
And I know it's not real.
Yeah.
But yeah, that immediate, like, that's it. It's gone. It's dead forever. Like,
yeah. I destroyed everything. David and I have completely opposite reactions to finishing a streamed game. I am like all adrenaline. David's like, I'm asleep now. Like, David hard crashes, can put up with me for about 5 minutes of cooldown, and then is like, I have to go sleep. And he is face down in bed and does not move. Meanwhile, I'm just like, I can't stop going. I can't stop moving. And I have, on a good day, about an hour, or on a bad day, about an hour of like, fuck yeah, that was good. People had fun. On a really good day, it'll last a day and a half. And then I spiral crash and I hyper-analyze every look, every comment, every reaction. What did I do that wrong? Maybe. What if none of them had fun and they all just told me to keep me from feeling bad? What if they all secretly hate me? What if they're never gonna want to play next week? I hard spiral every single time. To the point where I have come to expect it and I can deal with it now, but like, whew.
Yeah. Yeah. That hits real hard.
It does.
Of every time you're like, this is the weird, like, this is the last time that person's going to want to roll dice with me. That's it. We're done being pretend magical friends together. That's it. Yeah. I ruined it.
This person whom I have known for 8 years, that we have been through family members dying with. No, they're never going to talk to me again because I fucked up that. I didn't pick up the plot hook that they were putting down in that one session, and now we're never going to be friends again. It's over.
That's it. That's all of it.
Y'all don't be me. Please don't be me. It's
But
not fun.
I think that's such a big thing about imposter syndrome is like, it's not just us. It's not just tabletop. Like my wife is probably one of the smartest people I know. She has her fucking master's degree. And at every turn, at every like job opportunity or meeting, she's like, what if I don't know what I'm talking about? And I'm like, you do. Like you spent years doing this. And sometimes that's what it is. You need that outside perspective. You need someone to say, hey, lurking writer, you made a good joke. So I made it into a meme because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, Ribbononza says, I've been ghosted by enough friends, though, that those thoughts feel too valid. Look, same. And that's part of why they're so terrible. Is like, there's a part of you that's like, this is ridiculous, but it could be real, right? It could be. Hyperanalyzing everything. Oh, God, it's the reason I struggle so much with face-to-face human interaction. Yeah, for me, like, I hyperanalyze it in the memory. And then especially if I have to edit it, like I'll go back and I'll watch it. And then if I'm editing it, I'm like, what was that frame by frame? Let me see that reaction. But also that's like, you were asking kind of how do I help manage it? One of the ways I help manage it is actually clips. In that, like, so in the Star Wars game, Lurking Rider was there. In the Star Wars game, I dropped a bit of lore that caused one of the players to go. And then like later on, there's only 2 episodes left. We're off for 3 weeks. If you don't know Star Wars game, it's not going to be a big, but I'd been hinted, everyone knew my character had a past that she was hiding. And we get to a point where we have to like interface with some Imperials, and I put on the Imperial accent. And watching everyone kind of go, and no one brought it up, like no one mentioned it after, but I went back and I have both of those clips of watching people go like, what the, because it's like, I did a thing, right? That was a fun moment. The same thing happened in Chalice. I had which is now the home game. But there's a clip up of Burton's giving this whole talk about, I know this one, it was the party was split in 2. Oh, thank you. It was really fun. Talking about like, I had a tie to this other character and everyone knew we were from the same small town, but kind of like in this setting, magic happens kind of like mutants getting their powers. It just happens without them meaning it to. And I had accidentally mind controlled another person. Burton had when they were little small and they got mad at this girl and told her to stop laughing and doing this whole rambling thing. And, everyone's a little bit checked out, because it's a long-winded. And I'm like, yeah. And so I got taken away for training and I never got to tell Jules I was sorry for doing that to her. And you watch everyone at the table just suddenly like, oh, and I took a clip of it because it's like
forever.
I was like, this is such a good, like this, if I can do these setups and I get this reaction out of the players, I'm doing something right. So just know you're doing something right. Lurking Rider, I can't wait to find out the drama that has gone down in the interim. Take clips. And again, it's hard to watch yourself, but if you remember, you're like, oh, I told a really good joke, or just have that there. And especially, go back and look, because often you will drop something and people will get it and get excited, and you won't have noticed it in the moment because you're so busy, performing. And you go back and you watch, and everyone's got a face. Take that clip. Save it somewhere, because you can't trust Twitch anymore, right? Download it and upload it to a YouTube. Have that just for yourself, because Oof,
Yeah.
can it be rough? And then, of course, and I have to throw this out, I have been very loud. Well, I don't know how loud I've been, but I stated, like, it is award season. And I don't have it in me to campaign for Crit Awards this year, so I am not engaging with the Crit Award. But nominate people. Vote for people. If someone you know is up for an award and they're like, hey, I'm up for this, quote tweet it and say, this person did a cool thing. I really like them. Here's a clip to one of my favorite moments of them. That helps so much because even if you don't look, and I say this, and I can say this to you all because you all know the way I'm saying it. I can't say it on the internet at large. I desperately want to change the tagline of Chaotic Wholesome to this, except I know people will take it the wrong way, so I can't do it. But I am a 3-time award loser. And that is amazing. Like, I have been nominated alongside Connie Chung, alongside Time Lord's wife, alongside some truly freaking incredible people. And I didn't win. And that's totally freaking fine. I get to say that happened. I lost 3 times. That's great. I haven't won an award. It means I can keep going, right? I can't plant a flag and say, well, I did the thing. I'm done here. I've reached my pinnacle.
Yeah, and also the fact that people had that much faith in what you're doing or that much joy from what you're creating. Mm-hmm. That's a huge imposter syndrome fighter. Like, think of all of the people that went out and said, shit, Kay needs to be on this. Kay needs to be in this. Kay needs to be in the running.
Yeah, it means so much. So go out and nominate people. Go out. And again, because even like, then you get the nomination. You're like, can I really win? Probably not. I don't want to annoy people by like spamming this too much, right? Because it is a popular award, which I have my own personal feelings on. But it's like, okay, here, if you would vote for me, that would be nice. And then someone takes that and quote tweets, watch this clip of them. Oh, this person is great. I've worked the da-da-da-da. I've never, like, it means so much. And again, like that's the thing that I would screen cap and put in my little folder of feel goods. Because TTRPGs are a little bit easier than writing or some other form of artistic creation. Simply because it is communal and collective and happening together. If not in like play by post, not necessarily in real time, but like it's happening. You see people react to things you do. You have, if you're lucky, you have awesome people in chat, like Rex, or Lurking Writer, or Matt, reacting to what people are doing and saying. Like you get instant feedback, which makes it so much easier to do than a book where you have to write tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of words, and then get it edited and proofread and get feedback and have to change it and be told this isn't good and then try to pitch and oh, it's terrible. It's, or even just you have to write a whole chapter of a fan fiction.
Yeah.
And then post it on AO3 and then hope that someone will maybe, right? Like we know how that goes. TTRPGs are easier because of that, but also because it's real time, you are putting yourself out there more. It is easier to separate yourself in writing. But in TTRPGs, you're actually, even if you're playing a character, at least a little bit of your action is going to be you. And that can feel very vulnerable.
Yes.
Especially if we don't know the players, the other people at the table.
And speaking of instant feedback, Lurking Writer says, do you know who the biggest loser at the Oscars is? John Williams. He's lost out on winning more than anyone unless Walt Disney still has the record. But it's relevant to what Kay said, which is fair.
Yeah.
Like, it's an impressive composer. If I'm thinking of the right guy.
Yeah, like, I've always said, like, not winning an award. Like, awards are great for self-esteem, for getting sponsorships, and honestly, not for much else. So even just being nominated, or even just you just got a lot of background noise. There, it's fading away. Like, even just telling
kidding.
someone. Oh,
I'll stop touching buttons.
oh my goodness. Like, that ADHD showing.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. But like just telling someone, hey, I know. So last year, Candid. Thank you, Ribbonanza. Yeah, 2 for 2 today on Am I Thinking of the Right Person, Matt, says Lurking Writer.
Nice.
Last year, Candace's partner, Jason, was nominated for the Crit Awards for the My Little Pony overlay that they did for us, for our channel.
Yeah.
And deadline for acceptance videos were kind of short, and it's real hard, y'all. Those things are real hard. And they were really struggling with it, and David and I wanted to make sure that if he did win, there was something. So ultimately, Jason did get us a video, but to just have a backup, David and I recorded a little like, hey, Jason is too humble to do this, so we're gonna do this. We recorded that little video, and sadly, Jason did not win, but we then got to send them the video. Just be like,
that's
hey,
lovely.
We recorded this, just so you know. And they told us that there were things they had been struggling with creatively, and they'd watched that. Like the first time they watched it, they were just dying. We made them watch it with us. We were on a call. And so we got to watch them just be like, ah. But he said that he'd gone back and watched it several times since. And like, it had helped them conquer some art block and like restore some confidence. So like, do that for just hop. Like Rex has been incredible with every time I visited David. Rex has recorded a voice memo that I've gotten to play for David. Hopping and telling someone, hey, thinking of you. I really loved that game we played together. I can't wait till we play again. No rush. I'm just telling you I'm thinking of you. You know.
Yep.
I just messaged someone, was like, hey, ages ago you said this one thing, and it was the funniest thing, and it lives rent free in my head. And thank you. If you watch the Star Wars game, one of the players it was a big important role, and one of the players goes, does he get advantage because we doinked? And advantage because we doinked is now a part of multiple people's vocabulary. And just being like, hey, just so you know, that joke was from years ago. I still use it. I still think of it. That's what you mean to me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's really powerful. And it feels, especially if you are like, is this a parasocial, right? How close are we? But I can tell you how much it means. And it even means, I don't want to call anyone out who's not here to give consent to be called out. But like, I had someone in the community that I didn't know well at all. I really didn't know that. I knew their name, or screen name. I knew they hung out, but I didn't know anything about them personally. And they sent a message to David, which I got to listen to because I was playing them, that revealed a lot of really, personal information about them and about their identity and the things they've been struggling with and why they continue to hang out and watch the show and be part of the community. And it brought both of us to tears because it was like, we didn't actually know about this person very much until today. And knowing that what we do for fun, because this is a hobby for us and we enjoy it, impacted someone and helped them that much was really deeply powerful. And if you end up watching this, thank you. It meant a whole lot to both of us, and it still sits with me to this day. So it's not as dorky as you feel like it is, and it does mean a lot. How's that for a summary of all I was trying to get through there?
And I think the only add-on I have is for the parasocial point. If you send someone a message on a spot that they have publicly available, say something nice and leave. Do not expect a response. Do not demand anything from that person. Just be like, hey, that thing you did was so awesome. Have a great day. And that's it. If they choose to respond and start a conversation with you, it's 100% their choice. But you hit parasocial when you keep sending messages and keep getting into, oh, how are you today? And how are you today? No.
Yeah. Hey, can you? I'm gonna. Do you want to come? Oh, so how are you? Are you going here? Are you gonna?
Yeah.
Um. So yeah. For the I thought effects were disabled for this show. Nope. It's all good. Uh, it sounds like we've not had audio issues this entire stream, which tells me, yes, I know why my audio issues were happening, and that makes me very sad because some features that I really enjoy are causing that audio issue. So now I know. I have to figure out workarounds, but that's after I get back. And we are at or slightly over time. So I'm going to wrap up because, Matt, I need to let you get back to your evening and prepare for your Nary a Goblin Insight.
Yeah. I actually have to work tomorrow.
Ooh.
Sad. That's what I get for taking time off.
So, quick summary. Impostor Syndrome happens to pretty much everyone. And if it's a person who, if someone says they have never had Impostor Syndrome, they're either lying or they're probably not the most fun person to play with. In my personal experience, your mileage may vary. Happens to everyone, is incredibly common. Do figure out what makes your brain gremlins quiet down, because it's different for everyone. Again, you tell me to write 3,000 words, I will tell you to fuck off. If you tell your brain gremlins, well, we're going to do this to solve it, and they say that won't solve it, cool, listen to those brain gremlins. They know better than whoever's going to try to give you advice. And as far as working with people, again, be cool in that don't be pushy, don't demand time, don't demand attention, don't demand whatever. Walking up, saying you're a fan, giving a little background, expecting nothing back is totally fine. And so long as you don't get pushy, so long as you don't start demanding, should be fine. There are definitely people where it's like, where that's not the case. Those are uniques and one-offs and not anything you have to like prepare for unless you know this person well enough to know that they're going to react that way. Because sometimes the people who are like that often make that very clear in their social media.
Fair.
Yeah, don't go in with confidence and humility. Matt, what have you got? Any final thoughts?
The final thoughts are running away, but
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's so much of it. Like, remember that everybody is also a people, and most of the people have the same feelings. You know, you're not a. All right, I can't say you're not. The odds of you being the sole special butterfly in existence, the only person to ever feel that feeling, is very slim, but not zero. Just like the odds of a chicken attacking you from around the corner.
If you are the only, like, maybe you have seen the time knife, and therefore you have a feeling that only you and one other human is aware of.
We're allowed to talk about the time knife? I thought that was banned content.
I mean, only if Twitch finds it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Are they really going to watch this far into that video?
With the time knife, will they have to watch this far in, or will they just hit the point where it is referenced?
That's fair. Go watch The Good Place, y'all. But yeah, everyone feels it. You are not alone, and that's a good thing. And when in doubt, be honest, right? There's nothing that dispels an awkwardness more than being like, I'm sorry, I've watched a lot of your streams. I'm a big fan. I'm really excited to be working with you, and I'm nervous. And then it's like, oh, cool. No, great. Like, there are some people that's going to make it worse, but they're generally not.
Hopefully they won't use it against you.
Yeah. But I have more than once been like, hey, I got to meet Joe Magella, who now makes video games but used to do comics, and I was like, I went into art because I wanted to draw like you. And he's like, cool, come play my game. And it was great. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah, that is where I'm going to try and wrap it up. Matt, who the heck is you and what the heck does you do?
I'm Matt, and I do nothing for 2 weeks. I am also in the midst of a break. I'm trying to take some time to finish up the studio and plan some super fun things that nobody gets to see until 2026. I have to say maybe because, tariffs. I'm watching you, tariffs. Yeah, so we usually hang out. Yeah, we usually hang out on Monday nights. We just wrapped up a Starfinder 1E campaign. Shout out to Stellar Encore for recommending Spotify, where we'll be posting our SRS Polaris episodes. Since some of the characters featured in our most recent campaign, if you have not heard Kay be a very creepy android who delivers distressing news, come check that out. It'll be going up in a couple weeks. It's wonderful. It's only distressing if it's their problem. And you can see Kay foil my plans.
I
very
felt real
quickly.
bad about that. Panda's one of the people I get to see in my break. I'm very
Oh, that's
excited.
awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I've been playing games with them for upwards of 2 years, and I get to meet them for the first time.
So Lurking Rider asks, it says Starfinder game also going up on YouTube. So that Starfinder game is up on our YouTube channel in its entirety. I don't believe it's been edited down, so it does still have the full opening and like mid-run break. But the audio that's going up on Spotify will be just the game itself. Also, bonus points if you can play Creepy Monster sound effect or K sound effect.
And yes, thank you, Matt, for coming on and co-hosting. We are hoping that David will be back when Cataclysm kicks back up, but recovery takes time and has to listen to bodies. And I will say, David will look a little different when he returns, and I am very excited for to have my co-producer back in the saddle. I am Kay. I am usually here every Tuesday doing this. I'm going to be silent for 2 weeks. I am going to the UK and playing Acton Cthulhu for far too many hours, and I cannot wait. We will be entirely silent unless David decides to stream some video games, which he might, but he also needs to take time to heal, so I am going to let him be the judge of that. We'll be back, ideally, hopefully, fingers crossed, on May 20th. The 22nd, come on by Meadowlark Productions for A Sterling Garden. It will be the penultimate episode of the Star Wars game, not Starfinder. And then following that, on Friday the 23rd, will be Weird Wild's War over on Entropy Emporium. But again, that is all the way at the end of next month. So, until then, be kind to yourself, be excellent to others. Thank you, as always, for hanging out. You are all wonderful. Remember, treating your imposter syndrome is part of being kind to yourself. It is snack time for a certain someone. So I must go. So be kind to yourself.
Popped right up.
Be excellent to others. And we will see you next time, y'all. By the end button. Bye, y'all.